it is something that serves the purpose of freedom. Traveling around, I learned that you need freedom of the use of your money,
Mm.
and it should be a free will of what money you want, which people do not have because I do not know, 50% of people are unbanked, I suppose. They do not have access. And then I crossed through some countries that were communist countries.
Coins have to get initially distributed somehow, and a constant rate seems like the best formula. Satoshi Nakamoto. Welcome back to What is Your Bitcoin Story? With your host Gigi, the podcast where we explore the incredible journey of those who have dived deep down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. Today I'm being joined by a truly inspiring guest, Paco De La India. Paco is a young Indian traveler who set himself on a unique mission to travel to over 40 countries in just 400 days, living exclusively on Bitcoin. His journey, known as the Run with Bitcoin Tour, has taken him across the globe, connecting people and ideas through the power of Bitcoin. Along the way, Paco has been on a quest to find places that accept Bitcoin payments, from everything from food to accommodation to transportation. As we sit down with Paco today, we'll be delving into his remarkable story, from how he first discovered Bitcoin to the challenges and triumphs he's faced along the way. We'll also explore the impact of his travels on the global Bitcoin community and what the future beholds from his adventurous young explorer. So grab your headphones, settle in, and get ready to be inspired by Paco's Bitcoin story. Paco, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Gigi. How are you doing?
Doing very good. And I'm really happy to have you on the show today. It's been a pleasure meeting you a few months back in Prague at BTC Prague. And yeah,
Yeah.
I've been following your videos online for a while, and especially your collaborations with Joe Nakamoto. So having to meet you in person and spending actually just a few days together, being as what we call the car crew, going along everywhere. It was an awesome time, man. So I'm really happy to have you on the show today.
Man, it's really nice that you reached out, and I was thinking who this is, and I'm like, yes, it's the car crew. Man, it was good time in Prague. It was good time in Prague. I really had a good time down there. And yeah, man, look forward to how this one goes now.
Yeah, let's do it. So we'll kick it off with the big question. So, how did you discover Bitcoin, or how did Bitcoin discover you, Paco?
There are two parts to the story. 2017, I was in Chile in a hostel, and a German guy in his boxers comes down running, shouting, "Buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin." It is 2 a.m. in the morning. And I'm like, it's crazy. Fast forward to 2021, my business did not work out. The second wave of COVID was had just some 2021, and I was like, it was full moon night, and I got a call from a friend. His name is Fareem, and he's like, "Do you want to travel the world?" And I was like, "Yes, I want to travel the world." And he's like, "But you have to travel only on Bitcoin, no other coin, just Bitcoin." And I did not know what it is. He gave me the book, The Bitcoin Standard. Uh, I read that book in like 3 days, and it was just like by the time you reach, there was a section about India also, how what was happening in India. They stopped the 500 rupee note, and it talked about how the gold standard is not there and everything. And then all of a sudden, it was, and like I don't know, a person says like a faucet of water just opens up, and it is. I understood like, okay, this is new, um, and I went to him and I said, all right, let's do this. Let's do the journey and let's call it Run with Bitcoin. And yeah, we made the first video from his house and the journey just started. The 40 countries in 400 days was just a random number. I just randomly chose 10 days per country. And it took me more than 400 days. It took me almost 800 days. But the journey got done. So this was my entry from that boxer German running to me getting an opportunity to travel the world using Bitcoin.
Amazing, amazing. Well, all good things take time. Maybe it was too ambitious to do 40 countries in 400 days. But yeah, in the end, you managed to complete that goal, even if it took a little bit more time. But yeah, I'm just really curious to hear, man. So, what were some like challenges that you experienced on your travels around the world trying to pay in Bitcoin? Because paying in Bitcoin even today in 2024 is not that easy. Most merchants don't accept it. So how did you get around it?
When I started, I was naive. I was just smitten by the Bitcoin bug. I was just crazy about it, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I love traveling. I had a knack of couch surfing, and I knew hitchhiking. I knew everything. I knew how to move around, right? And they started to do it with Bitcoin. So I found out the first section until the Asia and the Arabian section. It was pretty easy. You just had to find that one person. At the
Mm.
end, what happens is like from me, I'm spending Bitcoin. I am not giving fiat. I'm giving Bitcoin. Either it's to a person or to a shop or to anyone. It was pretty
Mm.
easy. I would say for me, I just have to reach out in the community. You need to be in the community, so you'll find some. But as soon as I reached Africa, it wasn't. There were hardly
Mm.
3 or 4 shops that would accept Bitcoin, or 2 shops that would
Wow.
accept Bitcoin. From there, I got this idea of hosting Bitcoin. Like I was already hosting Bitcoin meetups, but here it got strengthened because in the meetup, people used to come from the crypto community and they used to tell me which shop is accepting Bitcoin or all right, who's going to accept Bitcoin. So from there, I was able to, but it was the most difficult thing. Africa, I was using cash. I did P2P trade in all the 18 African countries. So yes,
Mm.
I moved around with Bitcoin. I have wonderful stories there. Um, I was using cash to move around. I was south surfing, so pretty much I was staying on Bitcoin there. If we move forward to Latin America, it was mixed bag because there were Bitcoin communities that were there. So there was Peru, that was a circular
Mm-hmm.
community. So we are getting in the community, staying around. Uh, we had Costa Rica, the Bitcoin jungle community was there. El Salvador, the Bitcoin beach. Roatan. So there were these circular economies that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really nice part of the journey to just see how circular economies we can live in on Bitcoin standard. So yeah, so you can just divide this into 2 parts. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I guess, if a merchant doesn't accept it, Paco's tip is find a person who you can do a P2P trade and get their fiat currency to spend while you're on travels.
I think so. No, have the person pay and then pay him.
And then pay him. Okay.
Yes, have the person pay. Like he pays and I'm gonna pay him Bitcoin. It's
Nice.
like it is like at the end of the day, the Bitcoin spread around in the community. There was a
Yeah.
message like I went out for a coffee with someone and the person paid for the coffee, right? I paid him for his coffee also. I invited him, but I
Yeah.
paid
Yeah.
him in
Yeah.
Bitcoin. So it was just finding those little nodes in different part of the world so that you get to learn what the people are learning in the community, what the people are thinking, what's happening in the country. Yeah.
Of course. You touched an interesting point that Africa, kind of as a continent, was really hard to find Bitcoin merchant payments, and from my experience and my knowledge of Africa, like they've had mobile payments for decades now, and you would have thought that they're much more kind of inclined to accept it and go with it, but Africa is taking its time. Slowly now things are evolving, but it must have been kind of an interesting shock to you as well, right? You would be expecting to have more ease of payments there.
To me, I was surprised to see there is mobile money. Okay. I was surprised myself. I was like, hmm. So whenever I did a P2P trade, I used to get money in the mobile money.
Yeah.
So that was it was even I didn't even meet the person in real life and I could sell my Bitcoin and I get money in mobile money. It was very hilarious. And I was like, this is magic. This is the first half of the journey. I was always considering like how will people send Bitcoin on analog phones. On
Mm.
the later half of the journey, the project Machakura came out.
Yeah.
So Machakura was letting you send Bitcoin to this. And I was like, this is very cool. This is amazing. And I was really excited to use it in Nigeria and in South Africa. I used it in Kenya. And then I realized, like, yes, they can have adoption, but they do not have the information.
Hmm.
So there was no education on the Bitcoin aspect. And given the Bitcoin's volatility that I saw from $60,000 when I started the journey to go to $16,000 and then again to climb up right now. Like, yeah. So that was the biggest pushback ever I saw in Bitcoin adoption was the volatility.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, the volatility of traditional currencies and the more the money printer goes better, and some of these, let's say, third world countries, their currencies is getting devaluated at a much faster rate, even if Bitcoin goes 80% down over a 2-3 year period on a bear market. Some currencies are losing tens of percent like overnight. So but I totally get where you're coming from, and essentially the people's fear of this is going to go to zero. Like I don't want to touch it.
I agree. I'm gonna just add on to what you were saying.
Yeah.
It's so true. I was in Kenya 6 months on March. It was 100. $1 was 100 Kenyan shillings,
Mm.
and 6 months later it was 130.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so they went like I'm gonna give you good examples. Nigeria. I was
Mm.
there, a dollar was 400 naira. Today a dollar is 1600 naira. That is in 2 years you have lost 4x, all right? Malawi
Wow.
was 450, is now at 2500. Zimbabwe did not. Zimbabwe is a very nice story. From till 2008, they were using Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe dollars.
the Zimbabwe, yeah. Then they printed trillions, and from 2008 to 2016, they went to dollarized standard. Then in 2016, they came back to Zimbabwe bonds. Now they were called Zimbabwe bonds. And from 2016 till I was there in 2022, they were using Zimbabwe bonds. Just 3 months ago, they launched ZIG, the new currency. That's it. That's it. It's so, yes, the point as you shared, yes, most of these currencies are getting devalued. Only three currencies have grown in this period, more than Bitcoin. I can say this. There are three currencies that have grown in value more than Bitcoin at the current time. Is the Mexican peso, is
Yeah.
the Costa Rican colon, and the Surinamese dollar. They all have gained 25%. Those are the three
Hmm.
countries. And Bitcoin hasn't gained anything. It's at 60.
Wow. Well, there you go, guys. I mean, you can hear it firsthand. People like to talk
Yeah.
about volatility of Bitcoin, but sometimes the fiat currencies can be much more volatile than Bitcoin. So be
Yeah.
wary of where you save your money.
Inflation is killing everyone. It's ridiculous.
So
Like,
tell me, Paco, can you share
yeah.
like some of your like, let's say, favorite experiences that you want to share with the audience from your travels, and something that was really meaningful? I'm sure you're full of stories, but like, let's say some of the highlights. What were some kind of unexpected things, or some things that you really cherish experiencing on your journey?
Hmm. I can give you a lot of these use cases of Bitcoin. So I guess
Yeah.
that would be um one of my one of the most. I'm writing the book right now about this, and this is the most important. This is my favorite story. Once you're in Africa, you are just like giving dollars and dollars and dollars. When you're in
Hmm.
the West, when you are seeing from West Africa inland, you're just giving because there are a lot of checkpoints, and
Yeah.
every checkpoint is like a decentralized toll tax. So it's like they stop you, you have to give something, you have to give something, you have to give something. Doing this, I understood. I was crossing from Congo. It took me 9 days to cross DR Congo. It was jungle. It was no roads. Like you wouldn't call them roads. It was chaos. Like you're going through the jungles. 9 days later, I finally reached, and at the Congo-South Sudanese border, uh, I get stopped. They do not give me an immigration stamp, and they say, "Hey, give us $150." And I swear to God, I did not have money because all the money got over in that 9 days. I was going to reach to South Sudan and do my PGP and get the gap. And this guy harassed me for 2 hours. I was strip checked and everything, and he didn't find anything. And I was like, "Yeah, only if I had money, I could have gone. But if he knew I have Bitcoin, what would he do?"
Hmm.
Yeah, like at that very moment, I saw the use case. I'm like, they do not know I have Bitcoin. So that's a very good use case. They don't know. So
Nice.
that's something there. Yeah, man, like all it is it is being used. It is being used by different people in different places. A second one is nice from Africa. Um there's a Bitcoiner. His name is Chris Ellis. He is a 2012 Bitcoiner, and he's been living Bitcoin standard. I would say that he is in Botswana, and he has started permaculture in the Kalahari Desert.
Mm.
He took that Bitcoin to invest in land so that the land grows and self-sustains and feeds the people around it. So
Wow.
even if the people don't understand Bitcoin, they're at least enjoying and living.
The fruits of it.
Yes. So that's his
Amazing.
vision. So that's what is happening. So that was something really close to my heart. Um, I mean, Miami Airport also. Uh, I mean, yeah, they stopped. They were like, "Hey, you have Bitcoin," and I was like, "Yes," because they saw my Bitcoin T-shirts. So it was like, "Just show up. How much do you have?" And I had a Bitcoin wallet, and I showed them. I'm like, "Yeah, here I have $500 I had," and they let me go. So yeah, these are three different stories I've given you
No
now.
way, on the border crossing.
Yes, brother.
Wow.
This is in Fort Lauderdale. It's in yeah.
And how long ago was that? Was that recent or was that like a
This
few
is
years ago?
May 23.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, man.
You
So
would
this
think that they have no idea, but I guess
no
they've been doing some
yeah
research themselves, eh?
yeah, man. They have Bitcoin conferences,
Well,
so they are aware.
they,
Everybody's
they
aware.
certainly do. Oh
Yes,
man. Amazing. Well, it's interesting. Like with every story, like it's totally different spectrum. It's a totally
yeah,
different scene.
totally. Yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I guess with your experience and having traveled to so many countries, like what is some advice or tips you would give to, let's say, future Bitcoin runners and young individuals that want to take the stride and travel the world on a Bitcoin standard from your experiences?
I would say before the Bitcoin standard, uh, just go travel yourself. Step one, go run with your shoes. Go start running. It's easy. You can run the first day, and at least on the second day, you will know you're good or you're not good, and then you know what to do. So start running. That's like easy, and then go traveling by yourself. I would advise you to first be a traveler, then be a Bitcoiner, because once you enter the rabbit hole, then it's no stopping, and then you keep entering the rabbit hole. So be a runner. It's easy. Go travel. Take a hiking trip or go for the weekend somewhere. Just go travel, and then Bitcoin. While you're doing those small trips, learn about Bitcoin, and then you're a Bitcoiner. And now, if you are a Bitcoin traveler and you want to move around and you have some Bitcoins and you have hodled and you have understood the benefits of hodling, because during this 4 years of cycle, you will do everything that is possible so that you do not lose your Bitcoin. And then
Mm.
you have preserved that wealth. And after that 4 years, when you go out and there are various ways, you can use Bitrefill. It is an amazing application that lets you buy gift vouchers. So you can buy phone eSIMs, or you can buy any food vouchers or taxi, Uber vouchers with Bitcoin.
Nice.
You can use Travala.com. That is for booking online flights and hotels, and they accept Bitcoin. There's cheaper air also. There's future.travel. So this will cover your basic expenses. Second, the community is already there. The community has built something called BTC Map, on which you can come
Mm.
to know about different communities and different places that are Bitcoin friendly. So this way you can do this. And if you follow meetup.com or Llama, you can find community meetups. Please do go for the meetups. The only reason my journey is what it is today is because I hosted meetups. I hosted 120 meetups. I got to meet the people there. And
Wow.
that's where the magic starts. That's where you start to get connected to the people. So if you want to do that, please go to the meetups. And if you can attend a conference, amazing. There are really great connections uh, that happen. There's a very nice saying that says, "A million things can start from a hello." So,
Nice.
yeah, so do this. So, these are my advices to the future red pill, orange pill.
Amazing. Thanks, Paco. No, you're definitely right. Sometimes people overthink things, and they think it's not going to work out for me, or it might be too risky. But just as Paco laid out, it's you should really go for it. Life is short. Enjoy every single moment of it. You never know. As you said, Paco, a hello can lead to 100 million different circumstances. You never know who you're going to meet on your next journey, and what doors and possibilities can open up from it. Because if you just stay conservative, stay at home, and just sit in front of your screen, your world and reality is not really going to change. You really need to put yourself out there. And us humans, we weren't put into this world to be sitting in front of screens and not socializing. We are social creatures. So the more you socialize, and Paco is a living proof of that, the more opportunities, the richer your life gets. And richness is not always in the amount of fiat or Bitcoin you have in your cold storage. It's about the experiences that you share, and the connections that you build with people, and really enjoy life to the fullest. So yeah, I mean, it's very inspiring hearing, Paco, what have you done, and essentially what holds next. So I guess at the moment you've put your world travels on pause, I guess, because we spent some time in Prague, and I think you shared with me that you're kind of taking a little step back, but I'm super happy to hear that you're working on your first book. So maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Wow, man. Yes, man. And just to add on, like you and me got connected with that hello also.
Yeah,
We
we
also
did.
started with a hello, and here today we are having this conversation. It is just,
Very
it's 2 months
true.
late. Exactly, it's been about 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, about the step back, yes, brother. I would say I have finished my journey. I said I would complete my journey. I completed my journey. Uh, it is done. It was done on December 6th, 2023. It was it. And after that, I have just been thinking what I'll be doing next. I was thinking about, should I find work, or should I write a book, or should I continue making videos? I was not sure what I do. And now from doing all of that, that's when we met in June, which was crazy time for me. And
Yeah.
that's when I got that thing like, I'm gonna write my book. And now here I am writing this book because I understood, like, I guess there is so much to be shared that the camera doesn't see.
Yeah.
So there are so much such of these such stories that I couldn't explain while with cameras, and there are just so much that the book can just say and give hope, tell people, yes, manifest, it is possible. They will get to learn about the economies of different countries that is happening. They're going to see how the Bitcoin is being used in all these countries. They're going to learn about the adventures like crossing the Congo jungles I talk about. Yeah, they're going to know about the best food in the country. They're going to just like see how a random idea became a reality in this entire process of running around, which was simply proof of work. If you were working, you were getting rewarded. It was like a continuous cycle throughout the journey. So this is something that I would be sharing in the book, and yeah, so that people can do that whenever and however they feel like, and they just feel like, yes, it is being used around the world, and yes, it is hope to mankind.
And what's that experience kind of been for you? Writing a book is not the easiest task, and creating videos is one format. Doing meetups is another format. Traveling and running. Have you found it challenging, or it's actually easier than you expected?
Oh my God, writing is not easy, man. Imagine, like, I traveled 40 plus countries in over 2 years. That means I was on the constant move on an average every week to 10 days. I was in a different country on an average. But now I'm sitting here. I am just sitting on one place, man. I am sitting. I am just sitting. I get up in the morning and I just do my yoga. I've got into yoga now. So I do that.
Nice.
And then I started to write. And then slowly, gradually, I started putting myself goals and targets and started achieving. And now here I am getting to express the thoughts and feelings that I have. Like, I'm getting to feel every moment. It is just too much. And it is a challenge. So yeah, I'm looking forward to how this one comes out. It is something that has everything that I really hope for will be there in life, I guess.
No, awesome, man, and I'm super happy to hear that, because I reflect that 2 months ago when we met in Prague, we had one nice chilled evening with a mutual friend Simone on the boat at the cypherpunk party, and remember she gave
Yes.
you the advice of, Paco, you need to get into a routine, you need to take a pause and get your life straight. And everything she said, I'm hearing this in real time 2 months later. So I'm very happy, and I'm going to share this episode with Simone to listen, because she will also be very happy to hear that. Paco's finally on his rhythm, and he's put his feet on the ground, and you got the routine. You're doing the morning yogas. You're really taking everything in, not just on a constant run. Because being on a constant run, it is fun and all, but sometimes you just lose perspective of where you are, what is really important to you in life. And it's nice to have a balance. So, and I'm sure you're not going to be sitting there in one spot for the rest of your life. This is just another chapter in your
Mhm.
lifelong journey book. So I praise you, brother, and I wish you all the support and positive vibes sending over to you to make this next masterpiece with the book. And who knows what next doors open up, and what goes forward.
Oh, wow, man. Thank you so much, man. That was really some words of motivation that I was looking. They felt really like good. I feel like
We went straight
silver
into the
pack
chest.
gorilla. Yeah, man. I was like, yeah. Ah, man. Thank you so much. Felt good, man. Yeah, man. That evening, now you made me remind of it. I had totally forgotten about it. I had
Yeah.
really like, I just felt like Prague was something where it hit me finally. Like, I felt like
Mm.
it was like, I need to do something. The proof of work was gone.
Yeah.
And it is something that makes sense. Like, I was just writing this right now, and I will just say is like a doer is a king. I was doing something, right? A doer
Mm-hmm.
is a king. It is just that the king does it more efficiently.
Yeah.
That be
Yeah.
the doer, be the king of your life. Be the doer.
Yeah.
Just do. Like if you're doing, you're the king. Like do, just do, just do, just do. Everything is like I like Bitcoin Ikasi story comes to me, man. I remember I was there in January 22. I got mugged in Johannesburg, and then I
Oh
went to
wow.
Castle Bay, Bitcoin Ikasi, and we were like 25 people or 30 people who had come. Mike Peterson was there. People had come together. It was nice. And a year later, we had like 100 people there. People who had
Wow.
come in for the conference. Okay. So it just showed like how the work of just doing comes. Now they have this state of the art, like skating for people. It's amazing. They
Mm.
have just done amazing. So it is just like if you keep doing something, the roads open up. I felt that. So that's what yeah, that was a good time when you guys met. when we guys
No, for sure. For sure. And the possibilities with Bitcoin. So going back to the topic in the room with Bitcoin, it opens up possibilities to really explore the things that you really love. It's no longer this, rat race to make X amount of money to be happy. It really makes you reevaluate your values and what you want to do in life. And it's kind of this freedom key where people like to speculate on price, but Bitcoin is much more than price. Bitcoin is the true freedom tool that if you pursue it and you really sit down and decide what you want to do in life, it's that hope rope that projects you out of this matrix of 9 to 5, constant running, rushing here, meeting this, meeting that, but really living a life to the fullest. And you're a living example of that.
Man, we all are, man. This all is possible because we all are on the same thing. We all are misfits,
Yeah,
and we all are together here, and this is why it's possible. It is just the tribe.
true,
We are we are
true.
we are the tribe, and we only pave the way forward. In 2017, we were preaching hodl. In 2021, we started preaching spending, and wait, now something new has started. What is it started? Ordinals.
Ordinal,
Something
yeah.
is started. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, but ordinals are just a fad. They're gonna come and go just like the ICOs. But the hodl and spend it's an ever revolving wheel, where I'm also not in the belief of just buying and holding Bitcoin for the rest of your life. I mean, you need to do something with it, right? And I'm not talking about enter and exit in the market to have X amount of dollars. It's when we're in a bull market and when we're flying, reward yourself for having that discipline of holding and getting that next thing that you really desired for a long time. May that be a plot of land somewhere, like you said, in an example of your friend in Africa, or whatever it is. Helping out your parents, helping out your brothers, sisters. Just giving back and putting those sats to good use. And yeah, life is once again short. People really don't appreciate how fast time is traveling. And in my experience, I have two young daughters, and to me, life is like parabolic time now. Like before kids, it's like seems the same, and time is slow, and especially when you're a little bit bored and you're not sure what you're doing, like it just doesn't go. And then you have kids, and it just goes boop, like you have no time for anything. And it really makes you question like the decisions you want to be doing. Like, do I want to be right now sitting here and recording this inspiring episode with Paco, or do I want to be doing something else, reading a book? Like, it really makes you question the decisions you make in your life, because life is super fast. And I've been, during the pandemic, I really got into stoicism. I've been reading a lot of Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and there's a Stoic calendar, right? Which I don't know if you've seen, but definitely Google it after this episode, and maybe you can put it up on your wall, whoever's listening. I certainly have one where it shows you basically every box is 1 week of your life. And then as every week passes, you scratch off that one little box. And you realize when you see all these boxes, the average, let's say 80, 90 years of your lifespan, there's not that many boxes. And once you like zoom out and look at the big picture of how many boxes you have left of your life, you certainly start, really questioning your decision. Should I be doing this? Should I be spending my time, dabbling, Netflixing, TikToking away, instead of doing something that rewards me, and gives back? So, Stoicism is something that have really put me on re-questioning time values and preferences, and Bitcoin also solidifies that.
Wow, beautifully said, man. I haven't heard about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, the zoom out as you came down to, but this is amazing. So it's like a calendar where you scratch it off.
Correct. Yeah, it's a calendar. You can print it in. There's already like printouts before, but you can make it like yourself. So you put for every year, right? There's 52 weeks. So it has every
Yeah.
year with the little boxes. And then every week that
Uh-huh.
passes, you could do a Monday or a Sunday. You just scratch it off and you slowly see how the time is going, like your lifetime. By visually seeing it, it's a very powerful tool.
Wow, man, this is something nice. I like calendars. You have taught me something. You have inspired me now. This is nice.
Value
I'm
for
gonna do it.
value.
Yeah, value for value. Yeah, exactly as you said. Like either you would be with your daughters, or you would be here,
Yeah.
and here I am learning from you from value. This is amazing. I'm thinking I'm gonna do it not for weekly. I'm just gonna do it for 30 days.
Do
I'm
it.
just gonna like do it for 30 days and just see like what it feels like. This
And
is
and
something
if you
nice.
like that, the person who I found this from was Ryan Holiday. I don't know if you heard of Ryan Holiday. He's an American author on Stoicism. He has a few books. He also has his own bookstore, and you should definitely, you Paco and everybody listening, check out Ryan Holiday. He also has a podcast called The Daily Stoic, where he does like a short insert, like it's 10-15 minutes a day. Just some inspiration to get you going. Maybe you can do a daily Stoic episode every morning after your yoga session, just to kick in that inspiration for your daily writing of your book. And he has some really good stuff. And he also has a web store, and he also sells his calendar and a bunch of his books. But yeah, Stoicism has really, to me, it changed my outlook during the pandemic times when the world was just falling apart and nothing made sense. And reading, Stoic books, and especially the Meditations, the book by Marcus Aurelius, which was his own actual journal. It's powerful stuff. I would definitely recommend you also, Paco, to read that book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's a book that's 2,000 years old, and it's made out of 12 chapters. They're called 12 books, but it's essentially 12 chapters, and it's Marcus Aurelius. Especially at the time, he was the most powerful man in the world, the emperor of Rome. He was writing to himself. So it was not supposed to be published. It was just his own memoirs, journals. And it's such powerful stuff. I reread it every year since then. So for fourth year already, I reread it. And it's just powerful stuff. It's crazy that someone as powerful as him 2,000 years ago was writing this stuff. that you can resonate today in 2024, and it just shows you that time is nothing but a number. History repeats itself, things go in a cycle, and how you said your journey, you completed it, you finished that cycle, and now you're on your next cycle, on your next journey. It's a beautiful thing. The world it's never static. It's all circles. It's always starting, continuing, just like life and death. We're born into this world, we pass away, and the next person comes in and starts their journey.
Mm-hmm. Infinity. That is so true.
Infinity.
Yeah,
Infinity
man.
indeed.
Everything divided by 21. This is this guy called Nut Rice who's written this book called Everything Divided
That's
by
right. Well, look, it was 2 days ago. I actually marked it on my hand. So there's infinity over 21.
Yay!
So yeah, it's infinity over 21 really is a powerful symbol that most people are still yet to grasp. But in the big picture of things, with going back to Bitcoin, we went a little bit philosophical now,
Yeah.
which I love. But going on
Yes,
Bitcoin,
right.
like we're still so early. Like we're 15 years into this technological revolution that's going to change the world and humanity forever. That just last night I was recording an episode with James from Stamseed, and we said how still the average person, when you talk to them about Bitcoin, they have no idea what you're talking about, and it's so early that every deed that you do now, it's going to pay off so well in the future that uh, people don't realize the significance of it. But we do our deed by doing meetups, by recording podcasts, by giving content to help people plant that orange seed, and then it's their own decision and their own discipline to water that seed, to learn more, to experience, to do the research, read the books, speak to people, throw down their own meetups. You have to put something back to get something. People are just kind of waiting for this golden handout to happen, but you need to put in the work, and if you put in the work, you will very well be rewarded from it.
Very well said, man. That was very, very well positively said. That is so true. Proof of work. It all came down to proof of work, man. You
Yeah,
gotta keep
yeah.
working. And yeah, this is why I'll say HODL, right? The Bitcoiners, if we talk about 2012, 2014, 2016, these people have understood something, because in this process they have understood the importance of work, and they didn't stop working. And once an engine that is well oiled and that keeps running, that's a very nice engine. That's why people
It's
got,
unstoppable.
yes, yeah, this is amazing. So this is something that people learn from me. It's my first cycle, and it is 2021. I came right at the peak. So for me, it's a whole new level of understanding. This is like a rabbit hole that everybody goes in, where you have
Yeah.
first 4 years of indoctrination, where you're given lessons and you're learning and you're going around.
And you're feeling
You have
pain.
faith. Yes, and you have faith. You're like, one day, and you go, throughout this entire process, you fight, you cry, you crawl, but you don't quit. You stay, and then and then, as you said, you reward yourself. So it's a good
Yeah.
journey.
Well, consistency is key. That's one thing people should stick to, and the big giveaway is consistency. If you're consistent with whatever you're doing, even if you're not seeing results in the beginning, just like with what I'm doing with this podcast, I launched it 27th of July 2023, and every week there's an episode coming out without a single week missed consistently. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas or my birthday, there's still an episode being recorded, coming out. And with time, like slowly now, I'm slowly seeing recognition. I'm getting people, that send me amazing messages, that they love what I'm doing, and you start getting that reward, but it takes years in some cases, especially in my format of podcasting. It's not something, I'll try it for 2 months and see how it goes, because nothing's going to happen in 2 months. I'm into my second year cycle now, and only now slowly, traction is happening, and the seed is going into a stem, but it's far away from that bonsai tree that I'm looking to build, right? So it all takes consistency, it takes time, and whatever you're doing, just don't stop. Even if people are telling you, you're wasting your time, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, and you're focused on it, and doing at least a little bit every day. If you put in 1% every day in 1 year, that's over 365%, right? So do that 1% a day, and the rewards are going to be beyond your imagination. So I guess consistency is the key in this one.
Yes, very true, man. Consistent. You need to be consistent in anything to achieve something, because that's when you know you have a direction. Once you have a
Yeah.
direction, so you're considered like you just keep doing, like just like the machines. Our Bitcoin mining machines are continuously working,
Yeah.
and like the mempool has the gap is always working.
True.
Like Noster is always
True.
working.
True.
So yeah, and if they're consistent, and that's it. Consistency leads to, I don't know, something amazing. I have to find it out.
Well, you are gonna find it out very soon if you're not already feeling it from everything you've done. But I guess I wanted to touch one more point on which you mentioned, Noster, which was one of my kind of questions that I like bringing up to all of my guests since BTC Prague, because the Noster booth were actually we spent some time and it was the most vibrant booth at the expo. There is, since then I've been using Noster a lot more engaging, and it feels like such a more healthier place to be and interact with people compared to the X. And well, I don't use Facebook and Instagram. I don't know what's happening there. But just generally comparing it to X, it's a much more freer and kind of pure experience where people are really, giving something of value instead of just, hatred speech and sharing ridiculous videos. And it's all just like clickbaity stuff. How has your experience with Noster been?
It is something that serves the purpose of freedom. Traveling around, I learned that you need freedom of the use of your money. And it should be a free will of what money you want, which people do not have, because I do not know, 50% of people are unbanked, I suppose. They do not have access. And then I crossed through some countries that were communist countries, and where I learned, wait, there is no freedom of speech here. People are in power for 20, 40, 50 years. And you can see that the country is suffering. They are moving towards capitalism, but they're not allowed to move towards capitalism. Even if capitalism exists, but they are there. So you cannot say anything. And then you started seeing how X started censoring, and then you started seeing how Facebook started censoring. Now you're seeing how ChatGPT is, how censors if you ask anything about Donald Trump. Wow.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Like it is hilarious. And in the midst of all of this, I saw what Nostr does. It lets you send money around the world. Let's be very simple. It gives you freedom of mind. And it gives you freedom of speech. You are still allowed to post, and you are still allowed to express yourself. Because sometimes I feel people just want to express themselves. They do not want a reaction. It is just nice to just be heard.
True.
And here it has become engagement farming, and that all is leading here in X, as you see. So in Nostr, all this is like very, very pure, as you said, Zen. And the freedom of speech is needed, and as the world is moving forward, we are gonna see a lot of control done. And in the midst of all of this, you need at least a couple of these such networks that exist, irrespective of the governments in power. And the people, as you said, are Bitcoin only amazing people. These are the people who are always thinking about a step ahead. Bitcoin, Monero, they're in the same category.
Yeah.
And they like something that is not controlled by the state. And it will grow. People can adopt as they want. People can use it anywhere. Like I have a relay that's from Japan while I was in Australia. Yeah.
Wow.
And the relay just shows me some Japanese stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know. So I'm like, translate. So it's really funny for me. I'm seeing something different. It doesn't feed your ego. It doesn't feed your, yeah. It is just there to express yourself. It is not there to. It's not like feeding you or you're feeding off it. There is no feeding. It is just like there. It's there. So it's nice. I really like it. If you don't have, please do get one, people. And please don't share your private keys to anyone. Not your keys, not your account.
Well said. No, definitely. And also the big difference with X and Nostr is Nostr doesn't show impressions. It doesn't give that ego like, oh, how many impressions has this post seen? Is it popular? Is it not? As you said, it's just you put it out there, and who reads it, and whoever wants to reward you can zap you some sats, and getting even 21 sats, which is a very small amount, still you get like you feel appreciated that someone shares your same thought and kind of sees in the same light. It's so different to getting 100 likes on X, which doesn't do nothing. It's a different feeling, and people by rewarding you with actual satoshis, uh, you need to experience it for yourself. It's even if it's the tiniest amount, it's still like you feel good, you feel like you're doing the right thing, and people are appreciating it, and it's a totally different ball game, where everybody should start getting one. I know to most people and Nostr only been around for 3 close to 4 years. I mean, it's so new that it's got a long way to go, but uh, you know in the bigger span of things, getting into Nostr today is like getting into Bitcoin in 2011, 2012. You definitely want to get a head start and experience the early days. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues with Paco's recording, and the last farewell wasn't recorded on tape, so I will share it here. Definitely do follow Paco on socials. Definitely follow him on his Twitter page, which you can find it at Run with Bitcoin. And then also check out his amazing YouTube channel, which is at Paco De La India. And definitely follow our fellow friend on Nostr. If you search for Paco at iris.to, you'll definitely find him on Nostr. I will include all of the links in the show notes. And thanks again for listening. I hope you found Paco's story very inspiring, and feel free to reach out to him. And we wish him the best of luck with his upcoming book, and look forward to having him back in the future as his next epoch cycle starts. Take care, guys, and see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, I would highly appreciate it if you could boost, rate, review, and subscribe on the podcast platform of your choice. It would greatly help us spread these incredible stories and the message of Bitcoin freedom. Also, feel free to reach out to me and follow our social media accounts on X, Nostr, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I appreciate all of your support, and make sure to tune in next Thursday for the next episode. Thanks for listening, and remember to stack sats and stay humble.